Livonia City Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Honorable Eileen McDonnell.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting sets the agenda for the 2040th regular meeting, which is a voting meeting that will take place on Monday, May 4th, where tonight's items will be officially voted on. We have all 7 members present today. We will start with audience communication. You will have 3 minutes to speak on anything that is not on the agenda. You ready? Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Chris Lenore, Beatrice Street, Livonia, Michigan. Coming to you today just to let everybody in Livonia know. May 13th at the Embassy Suites, IBW Local 58 will be putting on a job fair. If you know any electricians that have been working in the field that have $6,500 or more, please come down. We have contractors waiting to potentially take you on. If you are a licensed journeyman, again, come on down. We have ways to test to get you into the local. With all that being said, okay, 2,500 people applied to our apprenticeship last year. They come to us because we have a defined pension, we have an annuity, we have 2 other pensions from our international. Now, a lot of talk about the public safety millage has been going on. And the idea that it's not being portrayed that we're messing with people's futures, right? This is how they feed their families. So the idea of not passing this, or in any way, like not thinking we should, and I know this would not go over great, give them more, right? That's why we're losing them. Why would I become a cop when I can go work as a wireman and retire with some dignity, right? I'm not saying we don't provide, but I think if we provide more, you'll bring them in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, sir, could I ask you, what was the date of your fair?
May 13th.
Thank you, May 13.
Good evening. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Katie Rogowitz, Livonia. So I started thinking about what you said, saying that I had to address you, so I took a second to go to the Livonia ordinance page, and I found ordinance 2.04.050, meeting and orders of business in regards to the audience communication. Specifically, members of the public at the meeting shall not speak until they are recognized by the chair, which would be you. So you gave me permission to speak. I do appreciate it. Nowhere in this entire section does it say that I can only address you. Okay, so legal can get with you on that. That is not on there. But interestingly enough, as I'm looking here, I do find that there's another ordinance that is being overlooked, 2.04110, meetings attendance by city officials. That police officer is supposed to be in this meeting. It is in the law right here. Again, that's 2.04110. A police officer or reserve officer shall also attend meetings of the council, shall execute the commands of the council from time to time, together with such process issued by authority of the council. And shall be directed to him by the president and shall keep order at the meetings under the direction of the president. So he is to be in this meeting according to law. So I will go back to what I was saying. Mr. Goldstein, glad to see you're doing well. Have a good night.
Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. I just want to address the proposed savings, $2.4 million over 25 years, switching the retiree health care from private insurance to Medicare Advantage. The city claims they're going to save all this money, but these projections depend on uncertain factors like federal policy, insurance contracts, and healthcare inflation. If the savings are real, and I know they presented these to you, then the city should provide an actuarial analysis, the insurance carrier proposal, and a retiree health care cost comparison. Without these, the claim is not verifiable. The city does not control key variables such as Medicare funding rules, insurance pricing, or federal law. Projecting 25 years of savings under these conditions is highly speculative. So, can the city provide the actuarial reports and assumptions behind the $2.4 million annual savings? If not, the claim is speculative. Projecting $60 million in savings without documentation is not responsible budgeting. The public deserves transparency and proof. These contracts are written for 1 to 3 years. There may not be Medicare in 5 years. And you guys are counting on money. This is smoke and mirrors, money that doesn't exist. I've talked to all our state legislators, Senate, and House. There's no money coming from the state. So you want to move forward with a proposal that's unfunded, and that is dangerous because we get left holding the bag. The other thing I want to point out is I do reels on Facebook. You don't have to have a Facebook account. Just go on Facebook and look at the reels. I put a lot of documentation out there, and it's having an effect, and I think that's one of the reasons people are starting to speak up, and I appreciate that. I also have a YouTube channel. I'm hard to find because Steve King was a congressman from Iowa, so he's all over YouTube. But if you can get to my YouTube site, you will see all of my proposals for a central gathering place, all of the improvements for the firehouse. We can throw a second story on it, a second story on the police station. I have done the work. I do my research. I stand by my numbers. And if you don't like it, prove me wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other audience communication? Okay, we'll move on to council announcements. Ms. Bazinski?
Thank you. I was reminded by Mr. Lenore and the note of the IBEW job fair that there's also Touch a Job hosted by Schoolcraft College, Livonia, Kiwanis, Roush, Alpha, Storch, and others at Schoolcraft Manufacturing Center on Merriman Road, Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I believe this is the third year. It's a really great event. Designed really for high school students, but anyone can come and check it out. And you have hands-on learning from 3D printing, electric, welding, advanced manufacturing, also nursing, policing, fire and EMS, EV and technology. So it was kind of inspired by if you had young children, Touch a Truck events where you got to go and see the big trucks and sit on them and feel so cool, like you could be a garbage man. And this is, so that you can feel really cool and inspired and different careers that are offered through Schoolcraft and other trade programs as well. So just wanted to give that a shout out.
Thank you. Anything else from council? All right, we'll move right into our agenda. New business, external request. Item number 1, request to purchase city-owned property. This comes from Ryan Berry, 34200 Hathaway Street. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Ray Berry, 750 Golf Crest, Deer 1.
Council? Any direction?
Madam Chair, I do have a question through the chair to Mr. Toromina. With respect to the items that we received in our packet, is it to approve the purchase price or just the sale and then the city negotiates the price?
If I may address what I think your role is this evening in considering this gentleman's request. So the disposition of city-owned property is governed under Section 3.05 or Chapter 305 of the Code of Ordinances. And when a request is brought to you like this, you have to consider it in light of the provisions of that chapter. Typically, where the property is considered surplus, it's brought to the Planning Commission first to make that determination. And then it comes back to the council. However, the council can waive the requirement to send this to the Planning Commission. And I think that that's something you should consider, and I'll explain why. This property was acquired by the city through a foreclosure in 2022. It sits just east of Stark Road on Hathaway Street. From all indications, this is a a buildable RUF piece of property. So the question of whether this is surplus or not, I think there's little question to that, because by virtue of how we obtain the property through foreclosure, where it sits and everything else. So it's not like we're trying to sell a piece of some other city-owned land. This one, again, was a platted lot located within a developed residential area. This gentleman's request is for you to consider selling him the property. However, you can only consider a sale like that and avoid public bid process where it's either a small or oddly shaped property and that you're selling it to the adjacent property owner, or you find that there's a compelling need or reason to sell the property without public bidding process. I would suggest that number one, you could consider a resolution that would require 2/3 majority vote of city council to bypass the planning commission public hearing process. Refer this to the assessing department to look at the appraisal that was provided and determine if it's complete, and then direct that this item be considered for sale via the public bidding process. I don't believe it's your, unless you find a compelling reason to consider a direct sale to this individual at your next regular meeting. I think this would have to go through the public bid process.
If I may, I do have a follow-up question to that. With respect to the fact that it was acquired by foreclosure, I'm assuming there's liens on the property that
I'm sorry?
the city, because it was acquired by foreclosure, I'm assuming there's some sort of lien on the property as well that the city's
I'm
owed?
not aware of those details. I went through the tax records and saw that there were multiple years of unpaid taxes prior to 2022, and then through that process, it eventually found its way to as a city-owned property. I don't know the details of that.
Okay. So if it does go to the public bidding process, all that work will be done, because I just want to ensure that the city obviously recoups whatever they're entitled to if there's a sale.
Yes, absolutely. And another requirement of section 3.05 is to refer this to the law department for its recommendation, and I think to verify everything that I just stated.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tormina, for that explanation. With that understanding, I would like to offer a resolution. I'd be offering a resolution to follow that process as explained by Mr. Tormina and deny the sale at this time because of that.
Ms. McDonald?
President Reed, Mr. Tormino, I just had a question. Do you know, which you may not, how much money did it cost the city to tear down the house that was on the property?
I don't know that detail. I'm not sure.
Okay.
What the city's involvement was in that at all, unfortunately. We can find that out for the regular
Okay,
meeting.
yes, that's fine. Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, just to further indulge Councilwoman McDonald, that should all be part, when we get the information from law and the lien, that should all be recorded because we are entitled to recoup all those costs.
Mr. Goldstein?
I just need some clarification. Are we referring it to law just to do a preliminary assessment, or are you going to go through a 2/3 vote, as Mr. Tormina indicated in the first place?
My resolution was to go through Mr. Tormino's process via 2/3.
So to waive the planning commission?
And waive the planning
Waive
commission.
planning commission.
Correct.
To waive
We
planning
got it.
commission.
So it's a resolution to waive planning commission and then a refer to assessing and a refer to law. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other comments from council on this? Anything from the audience? Okay, so this will not be on the agenda, the next agenda. This,
Correct.
No, it should be on the next agenda for those.
You can get
to
that
consider those resolutions.
done by then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this will be on the regular agenda then on May 4th, 2026. Did you want to say
Do you
anything
guys
else?
have any questions in regards to what I want to do with the lot, or no?
No, Madam Chair, if I may respectfully, sir, if it does go through this process and it's open to public bidding, I would welcome you to bid on it. I just want to ensure that the city recoups the monies that have been spent. They had to demolish, it sounds like there was a home that had to be
To my
demolished.
knowledge, you guys acquired the property for 22,000. I offered 40.
But that's not the issue, sir, respectfully.
Yeah, we have to go through the whole process so that we
Yeah.
know that it's
Okay.
properly assessed and all
So-
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it might be, put your bid in. I would just like it to go through the process to make sure that the city recoups what they need.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, item number 2 is the block party request. This comes from Jackie Gordon. It's to be held on Friday, June 12th, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Arden Street between Elmira and Orange Lawn Streets. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Brewer. I'm at 11028 Arden Street. I live across the street from Jackie Gordon and involved in the planning of the block party.
Great. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
We usually have an annual block party, and it's usually in the middle block between Elmira and Orange Lawn. We invite those, all those whose driveways will be blocked off are definitely on the included, obviously, being that it's a block party. But I think that Jackie wanted to only block like basically 3 houses worth of driveways, because we'll keep the party contained to there, so most of the neighbors can still access their driveway and still partake in the party as well.
Thank you. Council?
Madam Chair?
Ms. Tashnik?
Just a quick question. Do you have a rain date?
No,
So it's this day or nothing,
it's
right?
this day or nothing.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yep.
make sure. I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent. Sounds fun.
Any objections from council? Anything from the audience? Okay, great. This will be on the consent agenda on May 4th, 2026.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay, moving on to the Planning Commission. Item number 3, this is a master plan petition 2026-01-07-01 submitted by the Livonia Planning Commission requesting authorization by the Livonia City Council to distribute proposed amendments to the Livonia Vision 21 Master Plan, including the addition of Book 5, Housing Sustainability, for public review and comment, and to hold a public hearing to consider adoption of the proposed amendments pursuant to Public Act 33 of 2008 as amended, the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. Mr. McCullough?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to offer this to go into law and education for further study. Thank you.
Ms. Wazinski?
If possible, could Mr. Tormina explain the process to us? I was earlier not clear on it, and he explained it well in terms of what the action item is. If you wanted to do that, it might, I'm not sure if Mr. McCullough, I asked multiple people today, so if Mr. Termina is amiable to expounding on item 3.
Just for the maker of the motion, at least for that, obviously it could be, there could be different motions. I'm going to leave mine regardless. Or my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Termina?
Well, tonight, what we're asking is for council to approve distribution of the plan for review and comment, and for the planning commission to conduct a public hearing. This is required to file state law, which has a 42 or 43-day public review comment period. Planning commission then conducts a public hearing to consider whether or not to adopt the proposed amendments. As you know, well, as many of you know, this has been an effort now for the past couple of years. This was a project that was approved by council in 2024. It was funded, or has been funded through a $50,000 grant by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. This is under their Housing Readiness Initiative program. The plan is near completion. There was a steering committee that was created to prepare the plan. That steering committee consisted of 2 council members, 2 planning commission members, members of the Housing Commission, the Brownfield Authority as well. And it's a 44-page document. You should all have copies of it. Again, your request this evening is not to approve that plan, but simply to refer it to the Planning Commission to obtain review and comment. I have Donovan Smith here from McKenna, who is the project manager, if you have any additional, or any specific questions regarding the plan itself.
So this is essentially asking us if the Planning Commission can have a public hearing.
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. McCullough.
And it's a required step of state law.
Madam Chair,
Persicone?
I'd like to offer an approving resolution as well, so for purposes of an alternate resolution.
Okay,
They can both coincide.
okay. Did anyone have any questions for council? Did you want to say anything?
Good evening.
I'm sorry, you stayed all this time and then.
No problem. Good evening. Director Termino indicated, summarized the project very well. This is an amendment to the plan. We are requesting to release it for public review, and then it will go back to the Planning Commission for the public hearing. It is an amendment to your existing plan, so the first 4 books of your plan, those are still intact. By adding Book 5, Housing Sustainability, it is intended to strengthen the plan overall. You're right on time with your updates. You're 5 years past your last update. So those kind of synchronicities are lining up. We've worked with all the steering committee and planning commission. I think we have a good plan as it relates to housing sustainability that everyone will like to review and find great insight from. So again, thank you for allowing me to be here this evening and working with you all.
Okay, thank you for being here tonight.
Madam Chair, just some clarification real quick.
Ms. Dashner?
I know Mrs. Persicone made an approving motion. Was that consent or regular?
It would have to go on regular because there's an
Right.
alternate motion, is what I assumed.
They're not two different motions, actually. That's why I guess I'm asking. So you're asking to put it on committee, which we could, Mr. McCullough could absolutely put the subject matter in committee.
But we would still need to have a vote on it because they're 2 separate items.
Correct. So my point is that could be an agenda item
Yes.
as well. This could also, so I just want to, before we get
I
this
think
goofed up, I want to make sure.
the easiest way, in my opinion, is to just, it's on regular. And basically whoever gets to the motion first will have the first, and then you can do a substitute and go from there.
That's kind of what I was going to suggest. I just want to make sure we get this right
Yeah, that's
before we
fine.
leave the item.
Thank you, Mr. Termina. Did you want
I
to
was
say?
just going to add that it's completely plausible to adopt both resolutions.
Absolutely.
You could have the public hearing, you could put this in committee so that when it is completed, it goes through the planning commission process, then it's automatically in committee for your
I can
additional
deal with
review.
that.
And that, in fact, that follows a track that we've used previously on master plan amendments, so.
As long as there's contingencies that it would be after everything would be in law, potentially before it would come for a full vote.
Right.
That's all I ask.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay. I just wanted to get us like in the right track. Sorry.
Great, so item number 3 will be, or anything from the audience, I apologize. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 2 minutes.
James Bigger, Livonia, Michigan. Having sat through the Planning Commission meeting on this, this is possibly an incomplete update. We're comparing Livonia to Detroit, Warren, and Dearborn. Now, last year when we had the comparisons by the mayor, it was Plymouth, Northville, and Farmington Hills. So I don't know why we're comparing ourselves to those cities. It's also a housing comparison, and the thing about housing, at the Planning Commission meeting, it was stated by one of the commissioners, Livonia hasn't approved a house under $400,000. So whether or not there is any low-income housing or lower-income housing in Livonia, there isn't any. They also discussed how they've improved high-density housing, and to date, none has been built. Robertson Brothers on 7 Mile, yes, is building, but the other 2 by Showstack have had no action. So they're both in the plan. So really, the plan is not correct, in my opinion. 1 public hearing in 45 days is not sufficient. This is pushing a plan through the city that really should have more public input. Once again, the administration not wanting to talk to the residents. And I think at least 3 public hearings should be had so that people can have time to digest it, talk amongst the city, and have back and forth feedback instead of a one-time, hey, you get 1 chance to read it, we'll talk to you, and then we'll never talk to you again, and we'll make the update. And then we have to come before you all and make all the complaints, and then you guys get to be the bad guys of listening to us again, and I don't think that's fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have
Yes,
2 minutes.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. Yeah, I concur with Jim. Watching the Planning Commission meeting, This thing was like a hot potato. Nobody wanted to deal with Book 5. But apparently they threw it to you guys because they didn't want to deal with it. And I guess it's going to go back. So I appreciate Brandon wanting to have some more public dialogue on this. We are a bedroom community, Livonia, a bedroom community. And personally, we need starter homes, individual starter homes. I can build an 1,100 square foot, all brick home all day for under $200,000, but it would require changes to zoning and ordinances, and we'd have to build it differently. Not the way the builders do it now. They stick build everything that's like from the 1950s. It would require some changes to how we do things in Livonia, and they're doing it in other cities across this country. They're using panelized basement, panelized construction, SIP panels. They're building homes start to finish in 28 days. What we do here is crazy. It takes you 28 days to get one inspection. It's people waiting, not working. The framers, the electrician, the HVAC, the plumber, everybody waiting. So we need to, as a community, do something different. And let's lead on this. Let's lead on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Name and address for the record, please. You have 2 minutes.
Genevieve Lenore, 9063 Beatrice Street. I just want to advocate that this update to the city's master plan is completely inadequate. We update our master plan every 5 years by law, and we cannot wait another 5 years for the position of the residents to be reflected in our city's master plan. I understand that this was funded through a MSHDA grant, but housing is not enough. We need to go back through what has already been established in this plan, and we need to give the residents a voice. They did not get an adequate voice the first time. So however that has to happen with public comment, with public hearings at planning's made it pretty clear that they don't like this update. So I would really like to see us go back to the drawing board with this. We need a more robust update that connects the people to the plan for the city's future. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I see no other audience communication, so did you want to say something? Thank you.
Yes, if I may, briefly, through the chair. It is true that during not the last planning commission, but the meeting before, the commission did have some comments as it relates to the plan. We did work with the commission at their following meeting and with staff to address those concerns about the various content in the plan. So those were included. And then I would like to add, we did have a community survey that we did send out, and around this time last year, that had about 500 plus respondents. We did have an open house that was very well attended. It was actually next door at the library that had about 50 plus residents that attended with various engagement. So we did make attempts to engage the residents with this plan. One thing we did hear from the steering committee is that Livonia has a very unique character in terms of its style and housing and its reputation. And the objective of this plan is to maintain a lot of what Livonia has today. As it relates to housing, it is not a plan that says, just bring only affordable housing into Livonia. It's a plan that looks at how do you maintain the existing homes you have, what types of housing is best fit for the changes that are happening demographically inside of Livonia as it relates to population, household size, existing income, changes in future income, and how housing can better be reflected to fit the future that Livonia will be transitioning into over the next 25 years. So there are lots of things in the plan that I think that are worth looking at and worth considering. And then the last thing, just as it relates to why we're doing this plan, in 2024, there was an amendment to the Planning and Zoning Enabling Act that governs this master plan process. Historically, communities have always done master plans. However, housing itself was not a required component to master plans. So your previous Livonia 21 plan that was adopted in 2020, I believe, did not go into the detail and depth that this plan does as it relates to your current ecosystem of housing and various strategies that you can look to address things that change over time. So that is the kind of core of why we're doing this. We're kind of mandated to do it. So it was just in good time that you're 5 years after your previous plan. So with that, looking forward in another 5 years, when you do update your plan in 2030, you will then be able to have all components of the plan, from infrastructure, public safety and housing, transportation, and future land use, all included in one comprehensive plan. So in addition to kind of getting you through today, it preps you for future updates to your plan, which you will then be able to accomplish as you see fit.
Thank you. All right. Oh,
Can I?
sure. Wouldn't be complete without you talking.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple
Sorry,
of things.
name and
Yes,
address.
Jerry Karasinski, 19488 Bainbridge Avenue. A couple of things. So McKenna's been working on this for a very long time. I don't think this gentleman wants to go back again, to his point. I do think, though, that we are a built-out city, so housing sustainability means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I think we really do need to get this plan and see what's in it and talk about it multiple times. So I support what Jim has said with a number of public comment periods. And I did attend the session at the library and did see what they were proposing. It may not be as bad as we think, so, or maybe as bad as I think. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 3 will, or anything else from Mr. Brockway?
In regards to the Housing Sustainability Steering Committee, did you state that they were part of this discussion, this process?
Yes.
When did they last meet?
Oh, it
with
was
you?
probably November, December of, we're in the new year, so I think the end of 24.
Okay. Thank you very
25.
25.
We're in 26
No,
now.
It was 24. It was the end of 24.
It was 24, okay.
Yep.
No, I only bring up the question just because when I was looking at kind of the acknowledgements for the book 5 of 5, it does list Ms. Budzinski and Rob Donovic as the reps for city council. So has that been?
We met as a steering committee in 2025.
It was, okay, I apologize, the years.
We're in 26. we last, I can't remember offhand which date was the last meeting. I do believe it was fall of last year, though, so 2025.
Yeah.
Do we have updated reps for the steering committee now with the current council? Has that ever come to?
The steering committee kind of concluded in that we kind of said, okay, this is what's going to go to planning. And so that's where it is currently, / we're in the process of sending it back there for the public hearing. So, I mean.
Yeah. If I may, through the chair,
Sure.
the steering committee, we had a set number of meetings to prepare all of the kind of preliminary content. Particularly, we started with looking at your previous plan and the goals and objectives, and we spent several meetings kind of going over what the revisions to the goals and objectives were. In addition to, I believe one of the council members mentioned, we had to kind of go over affordability and discuss, what that means and how we're using those terms so it's more accurately reflected throughout the plan. And we had maybe 7 or 8 meetings with the steering committee kind of going over all that content. When that concluded, we went into drafting the plan, and that's kind of where we worked with the Planning Commission and staff.
Thank you very much for the explanation. Appreciate it.
All right, Ms. McDonald?
Thank you. Since there are 4 of us that are very, very brand new on this council, I guess tonight, I was at the committee when the Planning Commission meeting was upstairs on the 5th floor. I watched the meeting, the public hearing from home. And I guess for me, and I can't be the only one, number one, what is the complete goal and objective for this process? And actually, I was, I read through the packet, I was expecting somewhat of a presentation, so I would understand exactly what it is that we were supposed to be reviewing and analyzing. That's so, sorry.
No, totally fine. We can coordinate a presentation. I just wasn't sure if this was the proper.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
We can coordinate a in-depth presentation if you like. I just wasn't sure if this was the proper setting for it, but that can be coordinated.
But I think it's something that should be a public.
I think that's what in the
Is
public
that what we're
hearing.
going to be doing? But that would be the planning commission, right?
Well, it has to go through them first.
Okay, and then, yeah, so maybe Mr. Termino can explain what the process is.
So the planning commission is the body charged with adopting the future land use changes or the master plan. And as is typical in these situations, that document then finds its way to the city council for its consideration and a receive and file. So traditionally, the council has received and filed the plans once adopted by the planning commission.
So council really doesn't have any say in the process and
That's
what's
why,
approved.
yeah, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the council's action in this case is to help guide the process, obviously. You do have an opportunity, obviously, to participate alongside the planning commission. That was one of the reasons we formed the steering committee with representatives from city council. Unfortunately, as you indicated, it occurred during a period of transition on the council. McKenna has indicated, and I think by putting it in the Law and Education Committee, it then gives you an opportunity to dive into the details of the plan. Whenever you choose. And you could choose to have that either before or after the planning commission holds its public hearing. So that's really up to council to decide that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Anything over here? Okay. Are you all set?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
good. I'm good.
Great.
Thank you.
Item number 3 will be on the regular agenda on May 4th. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to Parks and Rec. Item number 4, award of bid for the addition of an accessible entrance to the Newburgh Schoolhouse at Greenmead Historical Park from budgeted funds. Hello, Mr. Davis.
Hello, Council President. Ted Davis, representing Parks and Recreation. We are asking Council to accept a proposal from K&B Enterprises for an accessible entrance to the Newburgh School. This was listed in a couple of places. One, it was part of the Greenmead Master Plan. We actually had this designed by HRC. This came in well under estimate, so we are happy with that. If council notices, this bid is dated a while ago. It was opened on January 27th. We actually waited for a while. We applied for an America 250 grant for this project. Unfortunately, we did not receive that grant, so we are now before council asking for an award from budgeted funds. We had one company bid on this, KAB Enterprises, in the amount of $55,075. That's who we're asking this to be awarded to. I'm happy to answer any questions council may have on this.
Thank you. Mr. McCullough?
I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent. These, well back, especially when my time on council, we always wanted to invest in Greenmead. We'd had a master plan, and Mr. Davis, I appreciate you and your team for the consistent updates to these buildings. And just to let anybody out there know, I'm sure there's historical preferences, and there's not many contractors out there that do this work right in the correct way.
There are not, and again, this bid packet was approved by the Historic Preservation Commission.
Oh, yes. Well, if that's the case, then
it has to be.
Yes. And listen, they're tough cookies, but this is a good thing, and thank you for taking the investment for the Greenmead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Okay, item number 4 will be on the consent agenda on May 4th, 2026. Item number 5, award of bid for the replacement of the AJ Gear Store roof at Greenmead Historical Park from budgeted funds. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Council President. Again, Ted Davis representing Parks and Recreation. This was placed on mitten for bid. We received 4 bids for this project. We are asking council award to the low bid in the amount to Cedar Preservation Systems in the amount of $23,680. This is a cedar roof replacement for the AJ Gear Store. The last time this was done was 30 years ago. We're past our life expectancy on this roof. It needs to be replaced. I'm happy to answer any questions council may have on this.
Mr. McCullough?
Approval on consent, Mr. Davis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Good evening, sir. You have 2 minutes. Name and address, please.
I was just curious if Did it have to be a cedar roof? It has to be a cedar roof because of the historical. So you can't have a look-alike cedar roof? No. Okay. Well, no, the faux roofs now are indistinguishable and they wear much better. There's a lot of maintenance on a cedar roof. You got to oil it and do all that stuff. I mean, if you've ever seen green meat, the roofs, most of them are a disaster. That's why I don't like historical stuff. I love green meat and I love but all right, so it has to be cedar.
Thank you. This will be on the consent agenda. Item number 5 will be on the consent agenda on May 4th, 2026. Item number 6, award of bid for HVAC preventative maintenance and service at the Jack E. Kirksey Recreation Center, Livonia Senior Wellness Center, and associated facilities for the term of June 1st, 2026 through May 31st, 2029 from budgeted funds. Mr. Davis.
Thank you very much. Ted Davis representing Parks and Recreation again. Sorry, we're home stretching it here, past my bedtime a little bit. So this is for HVAC maintenance for the Jack E. Kirksey Recreation Center and Livonia Senior Wellness Center. We have done a maintenance contract for a while now, for over a decade, with regards to HVAC maintenance. Our existing contractor, we are not renewing with them. They did not bid on this. We received 3 total bids on this project. 2 bidders, unfortunately, were disqualified in this process. We're asking council to award to the sole qualified bidder in this. And this is again for HVAC preventive maintenance and service from June 1, 2026 through May 31st, 2029. Total cost of $1,042,644 to W.J. O'Neill Company, and this was, again, our sole qualified bidder on this project. I'm happy to answer any questions council may have on this.
Council?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough, go ahead.
Listen, I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent. This is for a long-term contract, and I will tell you that the sticker seems high, but this probably includes CSD ones, which are state-required boiler inspections yearly. This will include filter changes. This will include eyes probably quarterly on every piece of HVAC. So if anything gets out of line, we know about it right away, and Mr. Davis doesn't have to come before us with something.
And also, I will say, is if something does go wrong mechanically, there's a 4-hour window for them to come on site and repair.
Yeah, it's the right move, and I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent.
Ms.
I just have a
Persicone?
question. Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we know why the 2 were disqualified? I'm just curious.
So I was not part of these meetings. Lion Mechanical submitted an incomplete bid that did not meet our specifications. Conti LLC, they were non-qualified due to lack of municipal experience and experience with similar sized facilities.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Good evening, sir. Name and address for the record, please. You have 2 minutes.
Yep. Steve from Coventry. Oh, wow. That seems just outrageously high to me. Wouldn't it be worth throwing it out there to bid again? I mean, you don't think it'd be worth throwing it out there if 2 people, you narrowed it to 1 guy? I know the company, that's a good company, I understand that. And I don't know, that's $1 million. That's a lot of money for filters. And I was hoping they would maybe include some cleaning in that $1 million, Let's get them to clean all the ductwork too.
Ms. McCall?
No, Mr. King, you do bring up a great point, and listen, the number does, but you have to think too, this will include coil cleaning when the cottonwoods fly. I don't think it includes full duct cleaning, obviously, because those are more of a unique science, but this is belt replacement. And I know it's a tough one. Like, listen, I agree. $1 million, you look at it, it's like, okay, one of those things fail. And then you're going to hear, we've got, $120 million and counting. So I'm just telling you guys, this is a good one. It's all inclusive. I've read the packet. We tried it at one point to buy our own filters, and it just doesn't work because then you keep doing it. So, Mr. Davis, I applaud the bid packet. I know it's a little tough, but it's the current market, and it's the right thing to do for the long term, especially the investment that we're putting into the rec center and the senior center. This just maintains things. So, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6 will be on the consent agenda on May 4th, 2026. Item number 7, award of bid, and this is for the purchase of site furnishings for the Sheldon Park redevelopment project from budgeted funds. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Council President. Again, Ted Davis, representing Parks and Recreation. Council may look at this and think there is some familiarity with this bid packet. This was previously going to be awarded to Maglin Furniture. We pulled this because they did not have cooperative purchasing credentials. This was then placed out to bid for 18 steel frame, 18 steel frame polyurethane, 88 picnic tables, 5 polyurethane backed benches, 7 steel trash receptacles. We had 8 companies bid on this with 9 total bids. We are asking council to award for the low bid in the amount of $49,647.20 to Kerr Office Supply. They were speccing an Athletica product that we thought was similar enough in nature and was the low bid. So I'm happy to answer any questions council may have on this.
Okay.
This was, I will point out, this was $40,000 less than the initial Maglin purchase we previously were before council with.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald?
Thank you. Mr. Davis,
Yes.
I'm assuming that the quality, did you have a specific specification for each of these items?
We did, and we also left it open where bidders could supply us with alternatives to those specifications.
Okay. What we are awarding, are those alternatives?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Quality?
We think the quality is comparable. It's a little bit different look stylistically, but we have similar products in our parks currently. We think this will be fine.
Okay.
Council, Ms. Persicconi?
I'm happy to offer an approving on consent. I'm very happy to hear that it's $40,000 less.
So
I think
are we.
that's great. And these, I think will look great. So thank you.
It'll be a great
Thank you.
project. Thank
Anything
you.
from the audience? All right, item number 7 will be on the consent agenda on May 4th, 2026. Do we have any concluding audience communication of anyone that did not speak at the beginning of the meeting? Anything from council?
I'd like to go on for about another hour talking about.
Good night.
Sorry, I didn't want to put anything on the agenda because I'm like, you can't vote for it. So it just didn't feel